Welcome everybody. This is Happy Dynast, and today I will try to predict which games that are supposed to come out in next 2 months of this year will be successful and which of these games will flop. Also, I'm going to try to predict how successful these games will be. I took the list of these games from IGN article, the biggest games coming in 2025, so don't expect any indie games on this list, probably with the one exception, this Date Everything game, which confuses me why they chose to add it to this list, but whatever. For purpose of predicting the success of these games, I created the tier list, which has 5 tiers. The first tier is Big Success GOTY Game of the Year material. This is category for games I think they will be contenders for Game of the Year. And the last tier is game never had a chance. Maybe because of the poor quality of the game, or maybe because of developers or studio created some controversies that made the game unable to become successful on the market. There are some tiers between, but I think you get the point. So let's start our predictions. First game that is supposed to come out is Dynasty Warriors Origin on January 17th. So where should I rate this game? I'm going to give it into the second tier, success, good game. And why did I choose this place for it? I choose this tier for this game because it is new entry into the Dynasty Warrior series, and last entry was I think in 2018 with Dynasty Warriors 9, and I saw people already commenting on some videos from seen people commenting on YouTube that they don't believe they will ever see new entry into this series. So I think fans of this franchise will be very happy with this release. Also, games looks very good. There were certainly graphical improvements for this new entry, and I don't think they had really big budget for this game. Also, I cannot know this for sure. This is something companies usually disclose after the game is released and is released for some time. But I think because this game already has an audience, and because of how long it took to bring new entry into the series into the market, that this game will be successful and it will find its audience and it will probably be even profitable for the studio. I don't think it is Game of the Year material though, because these Dynasty Warriors games, they were always kind of niche, at least in my opinion. I never saw like mainstream hype for them. So yeah, these are my thoughts on this game. Let's continue with the next release, which is Sniper Elite Resistance. Where I'm going to put this game, I'm going to put it into the fun slop tier. Why am I going to put it there? So what I could see from the research I made, this new entry into the series is nothing really new. It has basically the same graphic and it has basically the same graphic as Sniper Elite 5 had. So no visible improvement is there in my opinion. The story and gameplay looks identical, so that's very disappointing. I already saw some comments under the trailer and on the internet that fans were quite disappointing that it's just the same old. You cannot really go too wrong with World War II setting and killing Nazis, but because of every single game in the franchise is basically the same story, same mission, same gameplay, and now they lacking even the graphical improvement. And fans are not really that hype they were wishing for, like Sniper Elite game in Pacific or Sniper Elite game in like Vietnam War. You know what? I think I'm going to decrease its tier into the flop slop, just because it's the same thing, and the game audience that plays this game is not exactly hype for it. Also, I think this game will have probably a relatively big budget because of how long it was since Sniper Elite 5. And also this game too is not that mainstream success franchise. It's more like, again, this niche for the people that enjoy that kind of sniping gameplay and killing Nazis. It's not like Call of Duty or anything. So I think this game will probably flop because of these reasons. We shall see, of course. Next game on our list is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Kingdom Come Deliverance, I'm going to put it into Game of the Year material. Let's not lie to each other. This is the biggest RPG probably that will come in this year, at least I think. Developers are listening to the fans. They addressed issues players had with the first game, and they added, for example, crossbows, they added guns, and this is really important if you think about it, because Bohemian Kingdom in Middle Ages was known as Kingdom of the Crossbow, yet in the first game there was no crossbow, now it is there. Also, the director of the studio told that they could not make story they wanted because of the technology limitations they had at the time when were they making the first game. But now the technology limitations are gone and they can tell the story they always wanted to tell. So I think this will be a really good game. I also seen quite a big hype for it. So I really think this will be Game of the Year contender. I really think that. And I too am maybe biased because I too am very excited for this game. So we shall see. There is one thing that could decrease its tier, and that is if there will be poor optimizations for this game. Because if you remember, when first game released, there were bugs, there were performance issues also, and the worst of all, the save problems that plagued this game. And because you could only save in some beds and you didn't even know which beds you can save in, you very often lost progress in this game. And I think that really put many people off this franchise, so let's hope they addressed it. But that's like only thing I think that can bring this game into the lower tier. So next game on our list is Sid Meier's Civilization 7. So it's another entry into the Civilization series. This game already has its audience, so you know what, I'm going to even put it in the success good game. What I could see from the gameplays and trailers developers did put out there on the YouTube, they are trying some new things gameplay wise. There was some minor controversy, but I don't think it's really that bad of the controversy that could sabotage this game. Also, those new things that are trying, we shall see only after game will release if they improve the gameplay from previous entries or if they made this entry worse if we compare it with previous entries. That is always the risk when you try something new in long established series. So we shall see. Let me talk about the controversy. I saw on the internet there was this talk about the leader for the United States, I think, can be a black woman that was helping to free slaves in the time period of the United States Civil War. But I mean, people called this game woke, and I see some elements for it, but I don't think it's a big enough problem to sabotage this game and made it unappealing for long-standing fans. I also saw some, how to tell this, when you see the leader for the Rome, the Augustus, they made him look really unappealing. He looks like the character from Dumb and Dumber movie. And when you see like some, for example, indigenous male leader, he looks really masculine, really attractive. So maybe there can be some political influence on this game that can impact it negatively, but that's it. And another thing I want to mention that you can pick leader and you can add this leader to any civilization you want to. So I saw some pharaoh chick. I don't think it was the Cleopatra, it was some other pharaoh chick. And you could make her Queen of Kush, for example, if you want to play as a Kush. And because of this, I think it will mitigate these problems people had with these like characters they call woke. So yeah, I agree that woke can sabotage games. We already seen it many times, but it needs to be enough for people to really complain about it. So let's see which is the next. Oh, speaking of the woke games, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Okay, this will be fun. So how to tackle this? If I didn't know anything about Assassin's Creed Shadows, about anything Ubisoft did, I would put this game into the fun slop category. Because it seems to me that this game is just another open world Assassin's Creed, like Odyssey and Valhalla style game. You will go, traverse the world, defeat some enemy camps, get some loot, sometimes do stealth, there will be story. Absolutely Ubisoft standard, yeah? And it was already proven that Ubisoft can make these clones successful year after year. But the problem with that is, I think now there is kind of some market saturation for this game, you know? People don't want to play another copy of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Origins, Odyssey. So they are kind of sick of the same game mechanics. It's not as appealing as it was before. Ubisoft really damaged its brand with controversies they made. And I really think this could be slop game, but it could be the fun slop category and it could be financially successful. But then Ubisoft decided to do their controversies, like making the Yasuke main character of this game, which really rubbed many people in bad way, especially the Japanese people. Then they decided to add rap music for Yasuke when he is in combat, as he is killing Japanese people, which rap Japanese people even worse. And also, these were not just the only controversies for this game. Basically, there was many controversies, like they were telling people how historically accurate this is, which Japanese people pointed out that Yasuke wasn't a samurai. He was I don't want to say anything that could rub YouTube bad way, but basically he wasn't really samurai, so Ubisoft hired some historian that was supposed to prove that he was a samurai, but this historian was identified as a political activist, basically, so that was another controversy. What else was there? There was a lot of things. They took katanas from anime One Piece and they remade them into the game for marketing materials. They, I think, used Chinese characters and represented them as Japanese writings. They used Chinese architecture in game that is supposed to be in feudal Japan. There is a lot of things they did. Also, what else they did was people noticed in their marketing materials there were bugs. Characters were unable to sheath their swords properly. Horses were floating about the ground, etc. You get the point. So, after all of these problems, game looked like it's kind of that type of game that will not going to succeed. Okay, it will not going to be financial success, and it definitely won't be the quality success. Nobody will probably want to play this game 10 years from now or show these games to their children after this. I can be wrong. These are just my predictions. Okay. But after all of this isn't all. I think Ubisoft is really probably not on purpose. I guess you can never know. But they are really trying to sabotage this game as much as possible. So after all of these controversies and bugs and everything, I would put this game into flop slop. It's a slop and it's going to flop. It's not the game. It's not a game that was doomed from the start. That is utterly doomed and has no chance to succeed. And what happened then? Ubisoft decided to change the release date. At first, only game that was concurrent for Assassin's Creed Shadows were Dragon Age Veilguard. And let's be honest with each other, if it's Assassin's Creed Shadows or Veilguard, I'm going to buy Assassin's Creed Shadows if I'm going to buy some game, of course. in my opinion, I'm not interested in playing any of these games. But I mean any of these two games. Okay, no, I don't mean every single game on the list. Only these two. Sorry for my English; it's not the best. But they changed the release date, and now Assassin's Creed Shadows will release after Kingdom Come Deliverance. And I think on the same day will they release Civilization 7. And I mean, man, I don't think you had you have chance against Kingdom Come Deliverance. Because Kingdom Come Deliverance do exact opposite of Ubisoft, and they listen to their fans. They don't insult them. They trying to be historically accurate for a real and depict a real medieval Bohemia. And Assassin's Creed Shadows is exact opposite of that. And because of this, I'm giving Assassin's Creed Shadows into never had a chance. Like, this game could have slight chance to be successful before, but after they changed the release date, they absolutely killed any chance for this game to be successful. And they will probably say, oh well, our game will came out 3 days after Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. We didn't expect it will be such powerful concurrence for our game. Sorry, investors. We will do better next time. We just made a mistake. That's my take on this. And we shall see if Ubisoft will have any chance. Because what I heard, they are very, not very. They are in financial troubles, and there is chance they are going to bankrupt their whole corporation. So we shall see what will happen. So let's continue in our list, and now is a Date Everything game. So this is a dating simulator game. It's, from what I understand, it's one of those games that are these joke dating sims, like if you ever heard about dating Stalin or dating a Hitler. It's on that level. It has kind of indie vibe to it. It has these pinkish colors. It is, I think, LGBT plus targeted game. And if this game will be successful, I think that depends on their budget. If their budget was appropriate towards the audience they are targeting, which is this LGBTQ plus group, and they say, okay, this audience is not that big, we will make appropriate budget and we release it. This game can be successful. They are supposed to have like 100 characters you can date. I don't know if I did mention this previously, but the joke part of this game is that you can like date the washing machine or vacuum cleaner that is personified into the like sexy male body or a female body. It's something like that. But damn, 100 characters. I don't know if this has such a low budget though. I mean, if you have 100 characters, you probably have 100 endings for this game, and depends how long these paths for each characters are. This can really inflate the development cost, man. Like, look, this game is obviously targeting the LGBT audience, you know, and if they overblown their budget, I don't think this game will be successful, and I don't think it will be profitable. But it depends. Like I said, I don't know how much budget this game had. Okay. Let's make prediction, okay? I'm going to put it into never had a chance on assumption that because they had 100 characters, 100 endings, and 100 paths, they had big budget and they target quite a small group of people. And if that's the case, this game had never a chance to succeed financially. Maybe it will be cult success that this group people will play it like, oh man, this is like a really good game. Shame we never see next game for it. But if the budget was appropriate and it reaches its target audience, it can be success and good game. Okay, that's my predictions. I'm going to put it into never had a chance, but it's only based on the assumption that this game had a big budget. And I also think game had a big budget because it's on IGN article called the biggest games coming in 2025. And so I think the game had a big budget and they just paid their way into this article, or they had some favor from somebody in IGN. That's also a possibility. Or they pushing this game because it is political game that targets LGBT audience. That's also a possibility. So I'm going to think for now this game had a big budget and it belongs here. Which is the next game on our list? It's Avowed. Avowed. Okay, so this game gives me kind of Outer Worlds vibes. You know, it's kind of the standard Obsidian slope game. It's kind of generic. Game is not even what was originally pitched for this title. It was originally pitched as this Skyrim-like game, but eventually it devolved into Outer Worlds-like game. It's set in world of Eora. I should tell you, I played first two Pillars of Eternity games, which are CRPGs set in world of Eora. I like them kind of, but I really didn't like the setting of Eora world. I really don't like Eora as a setting. So there's like my personal issue with it, but I can see and acknowledge that some people would like love Eora and they will say like, oh man, I really wanted first person game in world of Eora. I never expected that something like that will be made. So yeah, it's kind of neutral point. Some people will like it, some will not. The problem is with kind of art style, in my opinion. It looks very corporate, very generic, in my opinion. If you played Outer Worlds, it's basically the same thing. I don't like this cartoon style, art style. What else can I say about the game? I saw some gameplays when I was doing research, and I really didn't like how it plays, in my opinion. Maybe if I played it myself, I would have different opinion. But from I could see, I really did not like how the game plays. I don't like how you traverse the map. I don't like how you do combat with enemies. Didn't really like the facial animations of the characters. Also, some of the characters are, I think, uglified. Like many modern games, uglified the female characters. I saw some cases like that in Avowed promo materials, but from what I could see in the gameplay, not all characters are like that. So again, it can be controversy, it can bring game down, but man, There is actually actual controversy I want to talk about, and that is tied to this. But I want to mention if Outer Worlds would be on this list, I would put it into the fun slop category. And that game was successful, and it was partly because of the Bethesda. Bethesda had their own controversy at that time, and this controversy was that they required $100 to pay for your private server if you wanted to have this option in Fallout 76. I think that was the case, but not exactly sure, but I think it was like this. But I know certainly they required you to pay $100. And because of that, Obsidian marketed their game like this space Fallout Outer Worlds, and it really helped their game to succeed. And where this ties into the controversy, I would also put Avowed into the fun slob maybe, but because of the art director for this game created controversy where he basically admitted that he sabotage art for this game just to make Elon Musk angry, and I think he tweeted it on his social media Blue Sky, and it created such a huge controversy, this game automatically will fall into flop slop. The guy really didn't do any favors for this game. Also, they caught this guy because after this controversy, people were looking at his social media, and they found that he is actively discriminating against the white people because he is this adamant progressive, and his ideology is basically if you woke person, your ideology forces you to discriminate against white people, and basically in this he admitted that he is not hiring the best person for the job, but the correct progressive color, so he can seem virtuous in his progressive group. So I really don't think this game will be successful now. After this controversy, it showed too much. There are some woke elements to this game I already saw. I don't know how bad it will be when it will release. So yeah, my prediction is that Avowed will be flop slop category. It will not be financially successful. It can garner some player base, but like the art director absolutely destroyed chance on this game being financially successful, and maybe even on being like quality successful, you know. Well, let's finish our tier list. We have 2 games left, which is the first one, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. So what I think of this game, I think this will be good game. I saw the trailer, I saw the gameplay, I saw the promo material, and it looks like fun game. It looks very interesting in my opinion. I never played any Yakuza game, but I would maybe play this one. This is really interesting. I also know Yakuza games have their hardcore audience that love their games, and I think they are also excited for this one, so it can be already successful in my opinion. But there is already starvation in pirate games communities. Like pirate games that were released in last few years are atrocious in my opinion. And when I saw how you go on your ship, it reminded me a little bit of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I think this game can really be something. I don't think it will be this Game of the Year material though. I don't think it will have that much of mainstream appeal, but the appeal it will have for some groups of people that play games will be enough to make this game successful. Also good graphics. Monster Hunter Wilds. So where I put this game? It's our last game, and I think it belongs here into Game of the Year material. I saw hype for this game on the internet since Dragon Dogma 2 released, and people were like, well, this Dragon's Dogma game, it wasn't what we it wasn't as good as we were expecting, but at least Monster Hunter Worlds will come out. I think this is most successful franchise for Capcom right now. I saw some good looking waifus. I saw some interesting monsters. We can already say that killing giant monsters with giant sword will be always appealing. It will be kind of in the same category like being in the World War II and killing Nazis. These are the concepts that you cannot really go too wrong with, but because of the hype, because of this game being an RPG, because how huge was the first game, I think many people who didn't pick up the first game will try to pick the second one just because they heard good things about the first. So yeah, I think from these 2 months, these 2 games will be main contenders for the Game of the Year. Of course, there will be much more games that will come out this year in the next months. After the February, I think this year will be the year when Grand Theft Auto 6 will release, and I'm sure that will be heavy contender for the Game of the Year. I heard some criticism of that game, but I don't think it will be enough to persuade people not to buy Grand Theft Auto game. But we shall see. We will predict maybe next time. I can make, for example, a video for next 2 months and next 2 months, and we shall unite it after we are finished. If you were here for duration of this video, I thank you. I am aware that my English is not that great, but I'm trying. I'm sure it will get better as I will be making content like this. Please consider to subscribing and liking my video. As someone who have very few subscribers, this is the greatest support you can do for me right now. If you disagree with something or know some fact I did not mention, please tell me in the comments. This is important because I've done some research before I did this video, but if you are adamant fan of some of these franchises or games, you may found some informations I did not. So please don't hesitate and let me know in the comments. I thank you for watching, and goodbye.